Hello, Joyce-Anne Anthony, aka JJ here, and this is the reference image that I use for these lighting studies. The first study is blend mode. This is how I usually light my characters using the grease pencil. So if you look to the bottom right, I changed the blend mode. Normally it says regular. I changed it to add. I select the character's skin tone and then I'll brighten it up a little bit, and then of course adding the blend mode add makes the color the highlight really pop out. And if you look to the left, that is my reference image that I got from unisplash.com. It's a free site where you can get a lot of portraits, landscapes. Right now I'm adding highlights to her hair. And if you see at the bottom right, use light is on. I forgot to turn it off, but you'll see in a second I will turn it off. This was my first time adding effects to my drawings. So to get the effects tab, you go to the visual effects properties on the bottom right. It looks like a wand with magic coming out of it. And this actually was one of my favorite lighting studies. Once I figured out how to use the colors and add the glowing effect, this can save me a lot of time when I'm, drawing either, headshots like her or doing animations. Like this effect right here, I love it. This is gonna save me so much time. Oh, and a tip for adding effects, if you look at the top right under options, make sure that you select the fourth circle to the right. It's the viewport shading display render preview circle. Because I noticed if I select on the first, second, or third circle, you won't be able to see the effect. The third study, I'll be using area lights and the use light option that, if you remember, I turned off in the first study. The background, it's just a mesh that's a plane. I added a glossy effect to it because I wanted the light to bounce off of it. And this is my first time using the use light option. It's a new feature in Blender 2.83, and I wanted to see how it bounces off, how it helps the light bounce off a 2D character. When I turn on the use light effects in my head, I'm like, this looks horrible. It looks like the Hulk, the Red Hulk. But I'm gonna keep on playing with the lights, and I wanted to give an effect like she was at a club or something and walking down, I don't know, in a club, and all the lights are bouncing off of her. That's the effect that I'm trying to recreate. When it comes to the wattage for area lights, I like 1,000 or higher, because as you see, it starts out with 10, which is barely visible. But of course, the more wattage, the brighter the area light will be. For this study, I just wanted to see if an HDRI, which stands for High Dynamic Range Imaging, would reflect off my 2D character. I've used HDRIs in the past for meshes, and I really liked how the lighting bounces off the mesh, but I quickly realized that it does not bounce off the character. So what I'm gonna do is use the background like she's at a location, and I'm gonna have area lights that match the background to give like a glowing effect like I used in the lighting number 3. The HDRI that I'm using is from HDRI Haven, and they have a bunch of really great free HDRIs that you can use. A link is provided in the description. For the final study, I'm going to experiment with Tint and Vertex painting. I've never used either before, so I'm just playing around with it and seeing how I can light my character. With tinting, it comes with 3 different options, kind of like the top center where it says stroke and fill. So your 3 options are stroke and fill, stroke, and fill. For me, my favorite one was stroke and fill. Now going into Vertex painting, I noticed a lot of similarities between Tint and Vertex painting, but it seemed like in Vertex my colors were more rich, if that makes sense. I enjoyed Vertex painting, but there's going to be a point coming up where unfortunately I can't delete the painting. So if anyone watching has a solution to delete Vertex painting, please let me know. I know like I have a Mac, so you can do Command Z, but mine was blanked out, so I wasn't able to undo it. I researched for a while and I couldn't find a solution to get rid of Vertex painting. Like there's no, if you look to the left, there's no eraser. But overall, I did enjoy Vertex painting. And if you want to play around with this blend file, it's on Gumroad for $1. Thank you so much for watching this experiment of learning how to light. I hope you learned something new, just as I did.
Wow.